In the chilly European winter of 1807, a dramatic episode unfolded, one that would alter the fate of both Portugal and Brazil. As the shadow of Napoleon's grand army stretched across Europe, the Portuguese royal family faced an imminent threat. Fleeing the clutches of Napoleonic ambition, their escape carved a unique narrative, intertwining the destinies of two continents and marking an unprecedented chapter in colonial history. Picture the scene: Lisbon, bathed in the eerie light of trepidation, as ships lined the Tagus River. The French Emperor Napoleon Bonaparte had issued an ultimatum: surrender or suffer the wrath of his conquering forces. The Portuguese regent, Prince Dom João VI, faced an unenviable decision. Instead of succumbing, he orchestrated a bold exodus that would see the entire royal court set sail across the Atlantic, bound for the vast and untamed lands of Brazil. Their journey was as much a strategic retreat as it was an audacious gamble. On November 29, 1807, a convoy of over 30 ships set sail, bearing with them the hopes of a nation, the royal family, nobility, and an assortment of treasures. More than 10,000 people embarked on this voyage, transforming it into one of history's most remarkable royal migrations. For weeks, they navigated the uncertain Atlantic seas, braving the elements and the risk of pirate attacks, until at last, they reached the shores of Rio de Janeiro in early 1808. Rio de Janeiro, a bustling colonial port, stood unassuming and unprepared for its newfound prominence. With the arrival of the Portuguese court, this coastal city was suddenly transformed into the de facto capital of the Portuguese Empire. The very air seemed to crackle with change as Rio de Janeiro became, for a brief but momentous period, the epicenter of European culture and power in the New World. It was here that Prince Dom João decreed the opening of Brazilian ports, breaking centuries of colonial economic restrictions and sowing the seeds of Brazil's future independence. This transformation did not occur without challenges. The influx of the nobility caused a dramatic shift in Brazilian society. The local population was suddenly mingling with the upper echelons of European aristocracy, altering the social fabric and introducing new cultural and economic dynamics. New buildings were commissioned, roads were paved, and the city's infrastructure was expanded to accommodate the demands of the royal entourage. Libraries, botanical gardens, and educational institutions sprang up, fostering an environment of intellectual and cultural growth unprecedented in the colony. Yet it was not just the physical landscape that was being reshaped. The political implications were profound, with the center of Portuguese imperial power now on South American soil. Such a move brought a sense of empowerment and identity to Brazil, and the seeds of autonomy began to take root. For Portugal, meanwhile, it represented a bold strategic maneuver that ensured the survival of the monarchy, albeit at the cost of leaving their homeland vulnerable to foreign occupation. This unique historical occurrence of a European capital being established outside Europe was a testament to the resilience and adaptability of the Portuguese monarchy. It symbolized a shift, a blend of old-world traditions interweaving with new-world possibilities. Over time, this paved the way for a more distinct Brazilian identity to emerge, setting the stage for the country's eventual push towards independence. In 1821, after the threat of Napoleon had waned and Europe looked to rebuild, Dom João VI returned to Portugal, but the implications of his time in Brazil were irreversible. His heir, Dom Pedro I, would soon declare Brazil's independence, an act that forever changed the political landscape of the continent. The years the royal court spent in Rio de Janeiro had woven an inextricable bond between Portugal and Brazil, a relationship steeped in shared history and a mutual journey. As we reflect on this extraordinary chapter in history, we are reminded that the flight of the Portuguese royal family was more than a mere escape. It was a transformative event that shaped the trajectory of a nation and its people. In the bustling streets of modern Rio de Janeiro, echoes of that pivotal era still resonate, reminding us of the audacity and foresight that marked those tumultuous times. As the only European capital to have ever graced the Americas, Rio stands as a symbol of resilience, adaptability, and the enduring spirit of a nation on the brink of its own identity.